Good sex is like good bridge. If you don't have a good partner, you'd better have a good hand. Mae West. My grandmother started walking 5 miles a day when she was 60. She's 97 now, and we don't know where the heck she is. Ellen DeGeneres.
I never forget a face, but in your case I'll be glad to make an exception. Groucho Marx. To be is to do, Socrates. To do is to be, Sartre. Doobie-doobie-doo, Sinatra. Kurt Vonnegut.
What do I wear in bed? Why, Chanel No. 5 of course. Marilyn Monroe.
I didn't have time to write a short letter, so I wrote a long one instead. Mark Twain. No matter how much the cats fight, there always seem to be plenty of kittens. Abraham Lincoln. If a mute kid swears, should his mother wash his hands with soap? Stephen Wright. A banker is a fellow who lends you his umbrella when the sun is shining, but wants it back the minute it begins to rain. Mark Twain.
The trouble with being in the rat race is that even if you win, you're still a rat. Lily Tomlin.
Sometimes you just have to pee in the sink. Charles Bukowski.
Heterosexuality is not normal, it's just common. Dorothy Parker.
Half of seeming clever is keeping your mouth shut at the right times. Patrick Rothfuss. I think I've discovered the secret of life: you just hang around until you get used to it. Charles Schultz. Just because you're beautiful and perfect, it's made you conceited. William Goldman. Humor is almost always anger with its makeup on. Stephen King. I am not absent-minded. It is the presence of mind that makes me unaware of everything else. G.K. Chesterton. Opera is when a guy gets stabbed in the back and, instead of bleeding, he sings. Robert Benchley. People have an annoying habit of remembering things they shouldn't. Christopher Paolini. Humanity takes itself too seriously. It is the world's original sin. If the caveman had known how to laugh, history would have been different. Oscar Wilde. The secret of life is honesty and fair dealing. If you can fake that, you've got it made. Groucho Marx. The older I grow, the more I distrust the familiar doctrine that age brings wisdom. H.L. Mencken. I like men who have a future and women who have a past. Oscar Wilde. That wasn't any act of God. That was an act of pure human fuckery. Stephen King. The last thing I ever wanted was to be alive when the 3 most powerful people on the whole planet would be named Bush, Dick, and Colin. Kurt Vonnegut. Write what you know. That should leave you with a lot of free time. Howard Nemerov. C. The problem is that God gives men a brain and a penis, and only enough blood to run one at a time. Robin Williams. You deal with mythological stuff for a few years, you learn that paradises are usually places where you get killed. Rick Riordan. I'm killing time while I wait for life to shower me with meaning and happiness. Bill Watterson. Nothing travels faster than the speed of light, with the possible exception of bad news, which obeys its own special laws. Douglas Adams. If you try to fail and succeed, which have you done? George Carlin. If you love something, set it free, but don't be surprised if it comes back with herpes. Chuck Palahniuk.
I'll try anything once, twice if I like it, 3 times to make sure. Mae West.
I sent the club a wire stating, "Please accept my resignation. I don't want to belong to any club that will accept me as a member." Groucho Marx. Cats are intended to teach us that not everything in nature has a purpose. Garrison Keillor. There are only 2 kinds of people who are really fascinating: people who know absolutely everything, and people who know absolutely nothing. Oscar Wilde. I'm sick of following my dreams, man. I'm just going to ask where they're going and hook up with them later. Mitch Hedberg. Halloween is the beginning of the holiday shopping season. That's for women. The beginning of the holiday shopping season for men is Christmas Eve. David Letterman. Before you criticize someone, you should walk a mile in their shoes. That way when you criticize them, you are a mile away from them and you have their shoes. Jack Handey. Clothes make the man. Naked people have little or no influence in society. Mark Twain. Before you marry a person, you should first make them use a computer with slow internet to see who they really are. Will Ferrell.
I love being married. It's so great to find that one special person you want to annoy for the rest of your life. Rita Rudner. When your mother asks, "Do you want a piece of advice?" it is a mere formality. It doesn't matter if you answer yes or no. You're going to get it anyway. Irma Bombeck. I want my children to have all the things I couldn't afford. Then I want to move in with them. Phyllis Diller. Insomnia sharpens your math skills, because you spend all night calculating how much sleep you'll get if you're able to fall asleep right now. Anonymous.
Breaking up is like knocking over a Coke machine. You can't do it in one push, you gotta rock it back and forth a few times, and then it goes over. Jerry Seinfeld. I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious. Steve Carroll. I walk around like everything's fine, but deep down, inside my shoe, my sock is sliding off. Anonymous. I haven't spoken to my wife in years. I didn't want to interrupt her. Rodney Dangerfield. I used to sell furniture for a living. The trouble was, it was my own. Les Dawson. Someone asked me, If I were stranded on a desert island, what book would I bring? How to Build a Boat. Stephen Wright. Common sense is like deodorant. The people who need it most never use it. Anonymous.